Moving day is coming and your child is melting down. Should you actually worry? Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you're a parent of a child between the ages of 3 and 12 and you've got an upcoming relocation looming over you, you are likely carrying a massive mental load right now. You might have even stumbled across some genuinely scary headlines about how moving can permanently damage a child's psychological well-being. Well, today we're going to cut through the noise and look at exactly what the data really says.
First off, I want you to just take a deep breath. It's completely normal for you to feel anxious about operating your family. You want the absolute best for your kids, and disrupting their safe, predictable little universe feels entirely counterintuitive, right? I completely validate that anxiety. But I'm also incredibly thrilled to share a very reassuring, science-backed answer that's going to entirely de-escalate your panic today. The short answer to whether you should be terrified of a normal, planned family move is absolutely not.
Section 1. Unpacking the moving research. Let's see what the science actually says.
So when we actually separate those scary internet headlines from the reality of the science, a really comforting picture emerges for everyday families. The crucial point here is that the studies linking moves to behavioral problems are overwhelmingly talking about frequent, involuntary instability. They are not talking about a single planned family relocation. When you read that moving causes emotional distress, those researchers are generally looking at families forced to move repeatedly because of economic hardship, evictions, or severe household instability. And honestly, that is a vastly different scenario from a family taking months to plan a single, well-supported move to a brand new neighborhood.
This brilliantly illustrates what top-tier systematic reviews are actually measuring. For instance, Jellyman and Spencer's highly cited 2008 review clearly shows that the association with poorer behavioral outcomes is strongest with high mobility, meaning frequent, repeated upheaval. And newer work backs this up too. A 2025 study by Putnick and colleagues separates the physical act of moving from the quality of the new neighborhood. What they found was that moving towards stability and opportunity is what really matters. It proves that repeated upheaval and a lack of neighborhood quality are what drive the risk. It's not just the mere act of putting your belongings into a moving truck.
I want to be perfectly, undeniably clear here. Do not overstate the risk of a normal house move. Because when a family moves together with a plan, preserves their core relationships, and communicates openly, it is fundamentally low risk. The science simply does not support catastrophizing a standard family relocation. So really, take a breath. Your child is safe.
Part 2. The parental stress cascade. Now that we've neutralized the fear of the move itself, let's look at what actually causes the friction, because we all know moving feels incredibly hard. What's really interesting here is that the research shifts our focus completely away from the physical event of moving and onto the environment of your family's routines. Anderson, Leventhal, and Duperry published a fantastic developmental review in 2014 emphasizing exactly this: the disruption of routines, the changing of schools, and the general stability of the families surrounding the move. These are the true active ingredients of childhood stress, not just changing your zip code.
Let's see how this builds, kind of like a domino effect. The Family Systems Framework shows us that parental stress cascades down. Step 1, the sheer logistics of the move deeply stress the parents out. I mean, packing is awful, right? Step 2, because the parents are stressed and busy, everyday family routines get disrupted. Bedtimes slide, dinners are chaotic, and patience run super thin. Then step 3, the child, sensing all this tension and losing their daily anchors, panics and acts out. Ultimately, this means if you manage your own stress and keep routines intact, you effectively insulate and protect your child from the chaos.
Which brings us to part 3, how to protect their world.
Empowered by that science, how do we actually execute stability in the middle of a messy move? Well, these actionable protective factors are going to be your best friends. First, tell them early and honestly with concrete details. Next, preserve their anchors. This is absolutely vital, especially maintaining those bedtime routines. Keep their favorite objects accessible. Don't pack their favorite stuffed animal at the very bottom of a box. Plan exactly how they'll keep in touch with key friendships. Visit and rehearse the new route to school or the local park so it isn't this big, intimidating mystery. And finally, mind your own stress and model capable problem solving for your kids. When a box breaks, and one will break, narrate your calm reaction out loud. They are literally watching you to learn how to feel about this change.
This is a brilliant guiding principle to keep in your back pocket throughout the entire process. Control reduces fear. Anxiety in children so often stems from feeling entirely powerless over a massive life change. So give the child agency wherever you can. Let them choose their new room color. Let them pack a special box of their most treasured toys that gets to ride in the car with them, not the giant moving truck. Giving them even a tiny slice of ownership will immediately lower their anxiety. It's a real game changer.
Now, a crucial point here is how we handle the sadness.
A huge, common pitfall is trying to hide the move or springing it on a child at the very last minute because you want to avoid upsetting them. Honestly, this completely backfires. It shatters their trust and accidentally creates way more fear. Instead, do honestly name their grief. It is perfectly okay for them to be sad about leaving their old home. Validate that sadness, sit with it for a moment, and then gently point them toward what is exciting about the new adventure.
Part 4. When to seek extra help. While most moves go smoothly with these tools, every child is wired a bit differently, and sometimes the transition can get stuck. It's important to know when to bring in some extra support. If your child's anxiety becomes highly disruptive to their daily life, long after the boxes are unpacked, there is absolutely no shame in consulting a professional. We're talking about intense anxiety that persists for weeks or months, completely disrupting their sleep schedule, their ability to function at school, or just their general daily happiness. If the tools aren't working and the dust is settled, reaching out to a child psychologist or counselor is a wonderful proactive step. As we wrap up this explainer, I'll leave you with this foundational truth to remember. To a young child, home isn't 4 walls and a roof. Home is you. You are their ultimate anchor, no matter the zip code. Regardless of where your physical house is, you build a stable emotional home through your presence. If you are steady, present, and communicative, they will be too.
And speaking of building emotional resilience, Fear Me Not helps kids conquer fears through science-backed play. It is an incredible resource for giving children the tools they need to navigate big feelings, whether it's moving house or jumping over any other childhood hurdle. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. As you pack those boxes tonight, ask yourself, how will you be your child's anchor today?